Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome back to another Manchester United stream tonight. I thought I'd stream because I haven't streamed in a while. Do excuse the kind of darkish background. I was trying to get the green screen to work. Didn't happen, unfortunately. So hopefully it might work a bit later on. But yeah, so obviously the news is from Jose Mourinho's press conference that Ibrahimovic may leave Manchester United at the end of the season. Welcome Matthew Jones. Welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing? Thanks for joining.
Is it a phone-in show?
I mean, you can phone in if you want on the Skype in the description down below. And yeah, if you want to go check out United lads, then go check them out in the description down below. But yeah, obviously, get your thoughts in on Ibrahimovic potentially leaving at the end of the season. Now, we got this hint from Jose Mourinho's press conference earlier today. Now, he said it was probable that Ibrahimovic was going to leave at the end of the season. Now, being the manager of the club, it would sort of appear that he would know a bit more. He would know a bit more about the goings-on and Ibrahimovic's feelings towards this. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. But do you think it'd make a big impact, Ibrahimovic leaving at the end of the season? And do you think he will leave at the end of the season? If so, where do you think he'll continue his career? Now, I think a lot of a lot of people would be saying that he'd probably go to the MLS if he was to leave. Welcome Daz's football stand, by the way. He says, hi, I can't watch due to me watching the Borough game in my watch long. Yeah, if you want to go watch Darryl watch that, then go into the link in the description down below for his live stream there.
Daz's football stand's amazing content, by the way.
Daza says Zlatan will leave. There's my prediction. I agree probably. I think he will leave at the end of the season. He does say he's got some unfinished business, so fair enough. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully he leaves with a Champions League trophy in his hand. Do you think that'll happen, Big O?
Hi guys. My face bit. No.
Right, okay.
Sorry about
you
that.
can just be on the side and give your opinion whenever I say. Are you playing my games now?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Are you? It might lag a bit because I'm streaming. But anyway, yeah, thanks, Dal, for joining. Appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to, guys, keep getting your thoughts in on Ibrahimovic potentially leaving at the end of the season. Also, if you are watching, I'd appreciate a like on the stream. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you are enjoying this type of content, the preview for the Crystal Palace game will be going up tomorrow. So yeah, if you wanna if you want to tune in for that, then please do.
Hello, Steve-O the Madman.
Hello. But yeah. Oh, it's coming down. It's alright, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry, Kieran.
It's fine. It's fine. What's happened? It's alright. It's alright. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine. Oh, it's alright. Hold on. It's fine. I'll just put it down. It's alright.
You're famous now.
Are you? Yep.
Talks about you all the time.
I don't. I really don't. Don't worry. I don't. Okay, technical difficulties.
Speaking of technical difficulties, Fellaini's leaving the end of summer.
Oh my god, don't lose a game. Right, this is a pointless stream now, isn't it? This is awful. We need to get this back on track. Keep leaving your thoughts in the live chat.
Are we doing Footbusters?
No, we're not. Not this week.
Why not?
We've blown it this week.
Has it actually been banned?
Yeah, yeah. Why?
Why has it been banned?
Oh, hold this like that.
Was I Rob 10 too much?
Yeah. Oh, you're through here. Oh my god. Shocking finishing. But yeah. Okay. That's fine. Wait. Yeah. So.
I know exactly where he's going.
Apologise for the little technical difficulties there. So obviously Ibrahimovic. Oh my fucking god. If you lose me more games, then I won't be able to get. Anyway, I doubt anyone's watching anyway, but if you are watching, please do leave a like and also get your thoughts on Ibrahimovic leaving now. Obviously, I think he has scored quite a few goals for United. I think he has done a good job for us over the seasons, or over the season that he has sort of been in action. This season, he hasn't really been in action. His biggest role really was going back and wearing that number 10 shirt. I thought that was a good thing for him. But
by the way, do you want to react to the Fellaini news?
What's Fellaini news? Is Fellaini leaving as well?
Apparently he's rejected a contract extension at Man United. He wants to leave to join Galatasaray.
Well, there we go. So possibly Marouane Fellaini leaving as well. So, you know, get your thoughts in on that as well. That'd be great to hear what you guys have to say.
What fee would you want to get for Marouane Fellaini? What fee do you reckon you could get for Marouane?
Yeah, you guys can answer that as well. I reckon we could get at least 25 million for Fellaini. I think we could get 25 million for Fellaini.
I personally don't think we can get that.
I think we can. I definitely think we can.
Well, he's 31. He's injury crop.
Matthew Jones says, can I call in tonight? Yes, you can, mate. Yes, you can. You can call in if you so please.
Matthew Jones?
There's the Skype is in the description down below, so please do call in, Matthew, if you want to. We will take your call. And if anyone else wants to, the Skype, add me in the description down below. And yeah, please do. Welcome, Tubes. Welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing?
Tubes,
thanks for joining.
where are you from, mate?
Big O asks, where are you from? But that doesn't matter. You're here now. You can answer the question if you want to. You don't feel like you have to reveal personal details if you don't want to.
Do you listen to Grime at all, Tubes?
Tubes says, yo, Dazza, Borough easy win versus Dirty Leeds. Yep, obviously Borough playing Leeds tonight. If you want to go watch Darryl's watch along, link in the description down below for his channel. As for all the other Manchester United channels, I thought I would do a little bit of a stream tonight. I haven't streamed like this in a few days, and I thought, you know what, let's do a stream.
I've been missing your stream.
Also, if you haven't already, go check out Big O's United in 5. Now, I'll explain this series. Basically, it's a series where you guys... Oh, for fuck's sake! You guys at home can send in your answers to the 5 questions in the description down below. In the description down below. Big O did it, and it was United in 5, and he answered the 5 questions. You can go see how he answered them. But yeah, Matthew Jones will be coming on the call, so he could probably explain where United lads has gone. But yeah.
Oh, stop! He hates you.
I don't hate you. Kino, yes. Love it. What?
We're having a cracking show this evening.
We're having a barnstorming show, lads. We're having a brilliant show. And so, as I said, if you haven't already, go check out United in 5 on the channel, and you guys can get involved by sending in your videos to the Google Hangouts, the Young United.
United in 5 videos, it is. Nothing else.
Chooses my fave player is Berbatov, and my fave kit is a blue kit. Oh yeah, it was convenient that you had the same kit with the same name on it.
Well, maybe
just a hand. It was pretty convenient.
The videos in question Kieran means is not the things you might be thinking of.
But yeah, apparently Berbatov's his favourite player of all time. With all the players you've watched over the years, how can you pick Dimitar Berbatov? I didn't understand it. I was just filming it.
Well, he was second place to Marouane Fellaini.
Okay, second place for Fellaini, yeah? Alright, okay. If you are watching, leave a like, that'd be brilliant.
Well, Fellaini won't be watching this.
Well, Fellaini's not watching it, yeah. Well, that's pretty evident. Can you put a link in the comment box? Oh, wait, do you want to call me on Google Hangouts, or do you want to Skype me? Because my Skype is in the description, but if you want to get on Google Hangouts, then please do. Welcome, Suran Spinocha. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Please do leave a like if you haven't already, as well. I'm gonna miss Fellaini. Yeah, to be fair, Fellaini, you know, obviously has rejected a new contract, so it does look like you said it. Fellaini's rejected a new contract, so it looks like he's going to be leaving United at the end of the season to go to someone like Galatasaray or something like that. So ultimately, yeah, he's a great resource off the bench, in my opinion. He's a great resource off the bench. So. Yeah, I mean,
If anyone missed it, Kieran just swore at me a few minutes ago. I'm not happy about it.
But yeah, I'll put a Google Hangouts link then in the comments. But yeah, keep getting your thoughts in.
What school Kieran goes to?
I'll keep leaving your thoughts in, and I'll read them out. Right.
So are we gonna play? Are we gonna play Footbusters this week?
No, we're not doing Footbusters this week.
Why not?
Tube says, I think Blind, Darwin, Fellaini, Carrick, Ibrahimovic will all leave in the summer, plus maybe one centre back. Yeah, we are. I agree, I reckon. I definitely agree. Right, I'm going to call you, Matthew. See, we call you on Red Devil Weekly.
That's a bit forward, isn't it?
Right. Pick up, Matthew, if you are.
Hello, Red Devil Weekly.
Right, okay. Our stream's going to go a bit laggy, unfortunately, but that's the way the wind blows. Tube says Wilson, Johnston, Andres Pereira might leave as well. Welcome to the stream, mate. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you very much for joining the stream. He says, is there any word on when Zlatan is back? I'm not sure, to be honest.
I think we actually called him today, and he told us.
Look, we didn't. We don't have Zlatan's number. Oh, no, we do. Oh, yeah, the mic. Oh, I turned down the mic audio. What an idiot. Obviously, you know, I don't know. I think Ibrahimovic is probably going to come back. I think he's due back in maybe a few months, or maybe a month. I don't know.
Do you seriously believe we'll be able to beat Liverpool?
Do I think we're going to beat Liverpool? A good question. Yes, I do think we're going to beat Liverpool.
Do you reckon they'll score, though?
But yeah, to answer your question, I don't really have that much of a word. Tube says he should be back soon. So yeah, I'll take his word for it.
Do you think Liverpool will score against us?
I think Liverpool won't score against us. I think we'll do you
think Lukaku will score again?
Yes, he will. I think Lukaku will score again. Tube says I'll bring in Savic, possibly Fabinho as well. Yeah, I think that.
Talking about Savic, who is he?
The centre mid. He's actually done.
Savic's younger brother.
No, Savic. He's actually doing really well. In Serie A. And yeah, I think he'd be a decent buy for us. He looks like a promising player.
I heard he already signed.
No, I don't think he has probably already signed. To be fair.
Well, the one talking about him he's already signed.
All right, Matthew, feel free to call Red Devil Weekly when you are available. Tube says I like Ibra to have one more big moment with us before he leaves, like a sub winner in the FA Cup final of the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I love him to see.
If we make the Champions League final, Kieran will dye his hair red.
No, I would love it. I would love to see.
I
would love to see you love the camera, don't you? I would love to see Ibrahimovic lifting up the Champions League. I mean, the FA Cup as well, I think is probably more realistic than the Champions League. But you dare to dream, dare to dream.
Who do you think will win the Champions League?
Probably the Man City or PSG. Tube says,
how do you still keep in touch with Terry Flores after you cut ties with him?
I do kind of. Hello, Matthew. Are you on now?
Hello. Yeah, I'm on, mate.
Right, we got Matthew Jones on the call. Very, very good. Thank you very much for calling in, mate. Appreciate it. Obviously,
yeah, no.
the topic of conversation. Let's start off with is obviously the comments that Jose Mourinho made in this press conference were suggesting that Ibrahimovic may leave at the end of the season. What do you think? Do you think he's going to leave at the end of the season? If so, what effect is that going to have?
Well, I think he will leave at the end of the season. He's obviously struggled with injuries, obviously, this season. You know, we all want him back. We all want him to play at least a couple more games. But I do think that he's going to go at the end of this season. You know, he might go to the MLS. It's probably his most realistic, place he's going to go to. But I think it will have an effect on our squad to some extent because he's a great player and he's great in the dressing room. But I think we've got good squad depth, so I think we're good in that regard. So I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the MLS is probably a safe bet where he's going to go next. I doubt he's going to go anywhere like China, but I agree that obviously him leaving will probably not affect us that much. I think. No, I don't think it will bring a tear to my eye because he's only been here a season. He scored that winner in the the Capital One Cup finals it was, which was a good moment. And as Chu said in the chat, I would like him to have one more big moment. Obviously, he has contributed to the successes. Obviously, the Europa League and the Capital One Cup as well. Do you think that this season he will get one more big moment, possibly lifting a trophy?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, we might see him in the FA Cup or something like that, but I think he's obviously really struggling with injuries. I'm not sure if he's back yet, but obviously being 35 years of age, it's going to be hard. It's hard for him to come back. I honestly don't think there's only 2 months left in the season, so if he is, he's going to have to come back quite quickly. But I really want to see him back. Even if he doesn't play, he's just like I said, he's one of those players which everyone likes, and he's got that experience as well to help out the youngsters as well, particularly going into the deep competitions that we've got. But
yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, he does bring a lot of experience to the dressing room, and I mean, I do think it's going to be a struggle for him to come back. Obviously, at the age he is, to get back from injuries and things like that. I think it is going to be pretty tricky. But I mean, I think we'd all love to see him, lifting a trophy for us. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, some other news that we've been talking about as well is a possible transfer of Fellaini at the end of the season. Does look like he turned down a new contract at Manchester United. So it does look like he wants out at the club. Do you think selling Fellaini would be a bad move, or do you think it wouldn't be too much of a, do you think he would actually benefit the team? What do you think?
yeah. Well, I mean, first off, I can understand, why he wants to go. There's a lot of people out there saying, on the money that he's got, why would you complain? But he's obviously not getting many games this season. I can understand that. But I don't think it'll have much impact on us. Now we've got McTominay, we've got another player in that position. I think at the start of the season, we're a little bit thin in that regard. We only really had Matic in that defensive midfield position. But now we've got McTominay. I think that helps. He's one of these players that Jose really likes. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, if he stays and it's just a rumor. But or it could just be him talking up his contract, wanting more money. It's what a lot of players do.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that as well. And I think obviously he also probably wants I'd say more game time and.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess if he, I think if he wants out, then it's only fair enough. I reckon that he gets away, and I mean, yeah. What were you gonna say?
Is he 29 years of age? So he's at that age now where in a couple of years' time he'll be on the flop. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to like an Everton or someone like that, because he's one of these players who likes to play every game. So. But what's your thoughts on Fellaini?
Well, glad you asked. Well, I mean, I guess Fellaini. I think off the bench he can be a good resource for us, but I don't think he should be, starting week in week out, especially with the midfield options that we have. I think that ultimately, I think, ultimately, I don't think he should be starting for us. And I think that we need to be looking at higher quality players if we want to be kind of challenging for big trophies again. As we kind of are this season, but not really. But obviously, if he wants the game time, which most footballers do want the game time, and that's why they play football. I think that it's fine by me that he leaves. I won't, there's been no hard feelings there, I mean, hopefully he has a good end to his career, because I think he has had some good moments in the Man United shirt, had some bad moments, but I mean that's kind of similar for all players. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about Fellaini. Tubes here says if Fellaini wants out, then fair enough. It's good McTominay is developing well, so he can play instead. Yeah, obviously Scott McTominay is playing very, very well at the moment. And yeah, if Fellaini, if Fellaini, oh, sorry, it's technical difficulty.
That's
Someone's trying to get past me. But yeah, no. If Fellaini wants to leave, that's fair enough. But obviously, a player mentioned there was Scott McTominay. How have you kind of rated his sort of rise in recent weeks? Obviously, against Chelsea, he played really, really well. And in the past few games, he's been playing quite well. How do you rate his performances?
I really rate him as a player. He's about 21, 22, so he's got so many years ahead of him. He's signed a new contract, I think, a little while back. So it looks like he's comfortable in Manchester. He's not one of these wonder players like Pogba who can spring a 60-yard pass, but he can he sort of plays like that Michael Carrick role, but obviously not quite as well at the moment. But you know, he seems quite mature for his age, and I think you know he's really stepped up, and he's sort of come in the last couple of weeks. You know, we've had really big games. The Seville game, I thought he played really well, and especially the Chelsea game. He sort of man-marked Hazard. I think that was fantastic what he did, sort of doing what Herrera did last season. So, you know, I'm still not 100%, you know, sure about him because he's obviously not played that many games yet. But I think we'll see in a couple of weeks' time, you know, whether we need to buy someone in the summer because potentially, you know, we could just if he does really well for the next couple of months, and we might not need to get like a Fabinho or someone like that. So, but you know, I really like him as a player. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I think as a player, he is, you know, he's done really well, especially at such a kind of, you know, young age to come in and you know play with such just sort of, I would say, maturity. You know, I think he looks like a kind of a player who's been playing in that midfield for quite a long time, not a player who's kind of been shoved in there for the past few weeks, but he's been playing really well, and I think as Tubes has made the point there, obviously with McTominay and other players like Tuanzebe and Fotomenta, they'll make great squad depth for you know future seasons, and possibly with McTominay he could become one of the main midfielders. I mean, I would not mind that at all. Obviously with Manchester United's kind of background of youth, you know, I think seeing McTominay become a first team regular would be, you know, a very much a great sight for all Manchester United fans. Just want to read a few of the comments. Jer says, with how bad Arsenal are doing, so bad at the minute, and his contract running down, could we take a punt on Wilshere to make an improvement on the midfield? Tube says, Wilshere irate, one of the few Arsenal players with a technique and passion, plus he would be free, but it seems like a die-hard Arsenal fan, so doubt he'll leave. Obviously, they mentioned Wilshere there. Your thoughts on Wilshere, Matthew?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think he's a fantastic player, and you know he's shown, you know, in recent weeks, you know, when Arsenal are down, they've obviously been on really bad form the last couple of months in particular. I think he's one of those players who's, you know, puts his heart on the pitch, you know, and he plays sort of like Herrera. He sort of gives everything, you know, lunges into tackles, and so, I mean, it's a possibility if you get him at the right price, maybe for like 30 or 40 million, maybe. I think he's 26, 27, so he's still at that age as well to, you know, bed into our team as well, if we were to go for him.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I can't really see it happening. I think that, I mean, as Tube said, I think he seems like a die-hard Arsenal fan. He does seem like he's one of the players who wants to kind of have success for Arsenal. And I think, you know, we should be going for possibly some younger talent. You know, maybe the Savic that has been mentioned, or, you know, Fabinho or someone like that. Might be a better fit for Manchester United.
Yeah. I just want to bring up a point. I guess I'll say my point and then I'll ask you. Just on regards of Lukaku and his season so far. You know, I think, you know, he's had a lot of stick, especially from a lot of United fans. I think, you know, he's been very good for us, and he scored, what, 22 goals in all competitions. But he does a lot more than that. He tracks back, he works hard, and, you know, he gives 100%. I thought at the start of the season, I think we said it on your last couple of streams. You know, sometimes he looks a little bit lazy. Maybe that's just the way, you know, the way he is. But, you know, he showed last week against Chelsea that, you know, he can step up in the big games. For me, it's just a service. I think he, you know, Sanchez coming into the team, and obviously Mkhitaryan wasn't really doing that well. I think Martial's been up and down, so he's not had a lot of service in that regard. So I think fans have got to give him a little bit of respect in that regard. But what's your thoughts on Lukaku?
Well, no, I definitely agree. You know, 100% of what you said about, you know, he's been scoring. You know, he's got a decent record. I think the 22 goals in all competitions is not bad at all. And you know, he does a lot more than that. I definitely agree. You know, he's got a lot of assists. You know, he's one of those players who I think is really integral to the attacking play, because he makes things happen and he tries to make things happen. He's got explosive pace, as we saw against Chelsea, and I do think a lot of fans don't give him as much credit as he deserves. You know, obviously some fans saying he's kind of a bit, as you said, a bit lazy, or, you know, he doesn't get involved with the play enough, or he, you know, and to be honest, I don't know where they're coming from, because I think the numbers he's put up this season, I think, have been, you know, very, very good, especially for a first season with a team. And I think by the end of the season, he could definitely get over 30 goals in all competitions, and I think that'd be a very, very good return for him. So yeah, I think he's doing really, really well, especially in the past few games. He's been doing very well. Getting his goal against Chelsea, really happy for him to get his goal against a big team. Kind of shaking off a few people saying that he can't score against big teams. I mean, you know, there's a goal. Obviously, it's a start. It's only one goal. We shouldn't get overhyped about it, but it's good to see. And I thought he's played really, really well against Chelsea. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought about Lukaku. Obviously, I don't think I've actually you know, talked to you since kind of all this Pogba stuff has been happening. Or whatever you think that is happening in the papers and things like that. I'm not sure if they're making a story out of nothing. I think they are, in my opinion. But obviously, Paul Pogba, I thought he had a good game against Chelsea. Where, I mean, obviously there's been some talk as well about where Pogba's best position is in that midfield. Do you think that Pogba has a best position in that midfield, or do you think that he should be able to play in any position in that midfield?
Well, I think, you know, he is flexible. He can play in quite a few positions, but I think his best position is just behind Lukaku. You know, in recent weeks, he has been playing, you know, quite a bit further forward now that McTominay's in. That obviously helps a lot. It's made Matic's life a lot easier as well. He's not having to track, you know, the whole midfield. But I still think he still needs to push up further, like just behind Lukaku, to give him a bit more service. A bit like what he did against Arsenal. He was sort of, I think we played on the counter-attack that day and we really turned up. So I think he's had a bit of a hot and cold season. But I think when Pogba plays just behind Lukaku, I think that's when he'll be under his he'll get his best performances. But I think, you know, he's obviously struggled with injuries this season. I think he's had a lot of stick from Jose saying he's not tracking back and all of that. But I think you got to give him time, and it still is second season, so it's still going to take him a while to get into the team as well. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think that, you know, Pogba is much better playing kind of further forward. I think obviously, you know, when he's got a job to kind of defend, obviously you would expect with the money we pay for him, he should be able to do that. But ultimately, I think you know, I think he's definitely better when he's in that more kind of creative forward. Or central attacking midfield role, and behind Lukaku, I think he's a lot better, because when you've got him forward, he can create the chances, he can put those little through balls, open up little holes, you know, unlock defences, and that's what we bought him for. That's really his talent, and I think that we need to utilise that, because I think that is one of his strengths. I definitely agree with that. I think obviously Jose Mourinho does like his players to kind of defend and be good at going forward and getting back and doing their job at the back. But Pogba's, I don't think he's really suited to that. I think he's kind of, you know, he's one of those players you need forward and, you know, doing his stuff up front. Welcome the Governor. Welcome to stream. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. He says that Lingard is a great player to have in big games. Always shows up. Yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, Jesse Lingard, obviously in the Chelsea game, getting his goal, very, very impressive from him. He also goes on to say Pogba needs someone to play with him in midfield. Like City have Silva, De Bruyne, and United need someone like Cruz to play beside him, or Matic. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess, you know, as a follow-up question, then I'll pose that to you. Who would be your dream signing to play next to Paul Pogba?
Oh, I'm not really sure. There's a lot of midfielders out there. I mean, possibly Fabinho. I don't think he's had an amazing season this season. Obviously, you know, Monaco have lost a lot of their players, but I think someone like him, who works really hard, just like Matic, will allow Pogba to just run where he likes. He won't have to worry about getting back. But I mean, there's a lot of players out there. It's just getting them at the right price. I'm not really sure though.
Yeah, no, I mean, there are a lot of players out there. There's a lot of talent out there who could definitely play beside Pogba. Possibly, I mean, you could argue Fabinho because he's kind of a bit younger.
I mean, I wouldn't write off McTominay. I think, you know.
Owen, what? No, yeah, sorry, you carry on. Sorry about that.
You know, he's only played three or four games in a row. I think, you know, he's still developing. He still obviously looks like he needs a lot more game time. But you know, he could be someone that we could just have him next to Matic. I think he does a lot of sort of sideways passing. He doesn't really try to push forward. He sort of plays a little bit like Michael Carrick, sort of, you know, calm on the ball, but doesn't do anything outstanding. But if we got, say, Fabinho for like 30 or 40 million, I think if we were going to get him, it will be this summer. You know, we were really close last summer to getting him. But I also think, you know, I still think we need to push for another winger, someone who can cross the ball. I mean, I know we've got Martial, but he's not really a crosser of a ball. He likes to cut inside. So I think someone get another winger in the summer. I think that would be good as well.
Another winger, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously your point about McTominay. Obviously we were talking about him, and I think he could definitely develop into someone. You know, who could be in beside, you know, Pogba, or maybe even play next to Matic, and then allow Pogba to kind of go forward a bit more. Because obviously, you know, I think as we've discussed, I think Pogba is better in that more forward position, and you need, you know, two midfielders to kind of occupy that centre circle position. And I think McTominay and Matic would be a really solid partnership. So yeah, possibly we could use McTominay, not have to pay a single penny, and possibly go for a winger, like you said. The governor says Man United need two midfielders since Carrick and Fellaini retire, and Fellaini might leave. Yeah, obviously those two do seem like they're going out the door. We've got injuries to Herrera at the moment as well, so we're getting a bit light on the midfielder front. But yeah, I think we might need to bring in a few midfielders. Tube says Cruz won't leave Real Madrid. I think, unfortunately, there is some truth in that. I think, you know, why would you want to leave Real Madrid? You know, are probably on really good wages, playing at one of the biggest clubs in the world, if not the biggest club in the world. You know, winning Champions Leagues, it's the dream, really. So, I mean, it'd be very interesting to see whether he would leave Real Madrid for someone like Manchester United. But Tube saying Savic, Fabinho, Seri have been mentioned, unless you play Fosu Mensah. Fosu Mensah's another option. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, I think he's more of a defender, but I think you could play Fosu Mensah in that central role. But yeah, obviously we can't call him during the season. Yep.
I mean, just touching on what you said about Cruz, I honestly can't say. I mean, how many Real Madrid players have we got in recent years? I mean, they're the ones that seem to get our players. So, I mean, he is 27, 28, so he's still at a good age. He's a fantastic player. He's been great in the World Cup. He's been great for Real Madrid in recent years. He'd be a fantastic player to get, but it'd be again, it's about getting him at the right price. I think Real Madrid like to mug teams off. You know, they're probably 70, 80 million, and are probably not willing to put, you know, Manchester United aren't probably willing to pay for that sort of, you know, player. So I think someone we haven't touched on yet is Rashford. I think he's obviously not played a lot this season. I think now that Sanchez is coming up, that sort of impacted his sort of year at United. I want to see him back in the team. He's obviously a great player, a good, you know, England prospect. So, I mean, I want to see him get more game time as well. But it's just trying to fit him into the starting 11. So, what's your thought on Rashford, and where's his best position at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point about Rashford. He's kind of gone under the radar since we signed Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's been a lot of